Hello everyone and welcome to Cards Copy Time. Today we're doing 10 cards with one kit featuring the Simon Says April 2017 kit. I just got it in and I thought I'd make 10 cards and I'm so excited. This card kit has bright colors that just scream happy all over it. It comes with 3 of these itty bitty wobbles and this cutest little stamp set that has elephants and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, no bears, just kidding. It comes with 5 of the white tags, 5 of the craft tags, some awesome pattern paper, and it's from Lawn Fawn, rainbow plaid. It's lovely paper. And then it comes with 4 sheets of cardstock. We need to make 10 cards, so I threw in an extra piece from my stash, and I'm using craft paper because I figured it'd match the tag. We're going to jump in and get started with card number 1. I'm taking this really pretty plaid paper and I'm going to cut it out with my rectangle die, which didn't cut all the way, so I got to trim it a little bit. And I'm going to adhere that directly on my card front here. And I'm taking a smaller rectangle die and cutting it out with white cardstock. And then from my stash, I have this little photo frame die. I'm gonna take the ink that came in the kit. This ink is Orange Slush. It's a bright color, and I kind of like the washy look of it, so that was intentional. I cut that out, and then now I'm taking all the little hearts that were in the stamp set, and I'm going to take all 4 of the colors, and I'm going to stamp them all at the same time all over this white card here, cardstock. Just sporadically filling in all the areas, except for the bottom area. I wanted to leave a little bit blank for the sentiment. Now I did notice that the stamp set only has 2 sentiments in it. So you'll notice that through this video I'm grabbing a lot of sentiments from my stash. But anyway, we're grabbing the penguin, which is a little roly-poly penguin. And I'm using my alcohol markers to color him in. I stamped him with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm not going to color him in all the way. I'm just going to go halfway because I want him to be peeking out of the photo frame there. Excuse me. Now I'm just going over with my darkest gray color. It's almost black. And shading him in. Now if you have little wobble eyes, this set is perfect. Bring him out because the eyes will be perfect for these little critters. I need to color him in a little bit more because he was showing, and then just smoothing it out a little bit. And then also I'm taking my craft knife and I want his arm to be kind of hanging out, so I cut around it that way, almost like he's hanging on the photo frame. I thought it'd be cute. Lovely. We stuck him down in the frame. And then I wanted something for the back, but I still want to be able to see the hearts that we stamped. So I'm using a piece of vellum, and I just trimmed around it. I'm going to pop the photo frame up with some foam adhesive. Thin strips here. Lovely. And now I grabbed a sentiment from my stash, and I kind of destroyed it. I cut it in half because I just wanted the part that says "You make me smile." I thought that would be cute with the photo frame. So I just stamped it with the black ink there. And then I'm going to pop him up on our front panel. Lovely. But I think it needed a little bit more. I wanted the blue in the background to kind of stand out on our card base. So I took a baker's twine that was really close to that color. And I'm just wrapping around the bottom of that photo frame, and then we're going to tie it in a bow. Sorry, which you can't see. I'm sorry. Lovely. We're going to pop that up with some foam tape. And then stick it right in the center there. And I'm missing a spot, so I'm taking the orange slush and I'm stamping a little heart there where I missed the spot. And it worked out great. That's card number 1, guys. Turned out cute. Now for card number 2, we are going to be stamping 3 images from the stamp set and the sentiment that says Wild About You. We're going to be stamping the lion and the giraffe and the penguin, and I'm using my go-to ink, which is the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, because we're going to be using the alcohol markers throughout this 10 cards here. Now that we have our images stamped, I'm going to color them in. Now I have my coloring skills on high speed because I've got a request for wanting to know on how I color, which I'm a beginner. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just shade where I think it looks good. So I'm just going around the outline edges, and then the center of it I always use the lightest color. I'm using a trio of grays for my penguin here. And these aren't Copics or Spectrum Noirs. They're just cheap alcohol markers that I got from Amazon. They're called Bianyo, Bianyo alcohol markers. They're fairly inexpensive, and I figured since I'm trying them out, I might as well start with the least expensive set. So, and so far they're working really good. I did learn that your paper type has a lot to do with your coloring skills. Good paper is better for them. Okay, I got our little animals colored in and now cut out. And I colored in the Wild About You sentiment. And here I'm grabbing my little wobbly eyes, stuck them all down to every little critter's eyeballs there. And I flagged my little sentiment. Now let's see. I want a strip of this beautiful plaid rainbow paper. Lovely. And I think I want to use a white background for this card, but I need a little bit more dimension. So I have an embossing folder. It's an older one from We Are Memory Keepers, and I just embossed my front panel here with that. They're little diamond shapes. Then I added my plaid piece, and I'm arranging my little animals. Then I'm going to pop my sentiment up with some foam tape. Lovely. And then I'm going to take my front panel and pop that up as well. And put it right in the center. And since it is a blue card base, I have to get my friend, my white gel pen, and stitch around it. And that was card 2. Now for card number 3, we're going to stamp again. The sentiment says Wild About You. And I'm going to stamp it 3 times. And it's helpful with the Mini Misty because I will get them crooked if I don't use this. And I want all 3 of them right next to each other. Lovely. Good deal. And now I'm going to stamp my little animal. I'm going to use the elephant today for this card. All these animals are so adorable. Oh my goodness. Love that. And I'm using my lighter shades of gray here. I'm using a trio again of them, and I'm just coloring in my little elephant. And now I'm going to cut him out. And then I'm taking my alcohol markers and I'm coloring in the Wild About You. And I'm kind of just doing rainbow colors. Like the first wild I used the green, now I'm going to be using an orange. And then the next one is a blue. And then now that that's done, Let's see. I decided I love the colors of the ink that came in the kit. So I have this, it's a polka dotted stripe like border. And so I thought it'd be pretty to put on the back of the white card base. The first color I'm using was the Lemon Zest. And then I'm just going to lower that white panel, and then I'm going to add the key lime, and then I'll just repeat it, and then I'll add the orange slush until I'm all the way to the top. And I think the rainbow effect that it gave was pretty neat. I really was happy with that. And the geese are coming around the corner. You're gonna hear them. I'm so sorry. When I have 3 geese. My son thought it'd be really nice to have 3 geese, so we had them since they were babies. And they have wings and they can fly, but they don't ever fly. They just stick around, and I think they hear my voice, so they get louder. Sorry about that. Well, I took a hard die of mine, and then I cut out a piece of black cardstock. I cut that heart out, and then I think it fit that little elephant perfect. I popped them up with the wobble, added the sentiment, and then that was card number 3. Really cute. If I had a bigger heart die, I think I would have used a little bit bigger heart die. Okay, now for card number 4. We are going to stamp our little lion. And then we're going to use one of the craft tags that were in the kit. And again, from my stash, I'm using a sentiment. The sentiment says, "Birthday love from me to you." And then I'm just going to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink here. And then we're going to color in our cute little lion. I love that all these little creatures have arms to where they can hold things. So now that he's colored in, I'm going to cut him out. And then I'm taking my craft knife because I want him to hold a little present since it is a birthday card. So I cut out his arms. And then I'm going to take a piece of this. We're going to use a couple colors. I cut out the plaid paper, and we're going to use that for the card base. And these are nesting rectangle dies that I am using. And then I'm taking a piece of brown and tan baker's twine, and I'm going to thread our tag. And then this little teal blue that came in the kit, I cut out a little itty bitty square, and then made sure that he fit right between the arms because I want him to hold it. And then I'm taking a piece of black twine, and I tied a bow around it and made a little present. I think he looks really cute. I also cut out his chin. That way his chin would be, or the mane would be kind of overlapping on the present. He turned out pretty good. I think I was originally just going to do one present, but I really think he needs a couple more. Everybody needs more presents, right? So I cut out a piece of the purple plaid and then the green plaid. And I also put twine around that and tied little bows. And I'm just arranging them on top of my tag. I'm going to put our little lion in the middle. Lovely. Now I have this gold, a shiny pen or a silvery shimmer pen. It's from Jelly Roll, and the ink in it is really an intense shiny. So up close, when you look at the presents, they have a glitter to them. Now I'm taking my white gel pen and I faux stitched around the card, and then I just drew a line around the tag to make it kind of pop a little bit. And that's it, guys. That's card number 3. Now for card Now, oh, that was card number 4, sorry. Now for card number 5, I stamped, and now I'm going to cut out the penguin. And I have my stitch circle dies. And I just took like the 4 smallest ones that I had, and I'm running them through my Big Shot with the plaid paper. And I'm just filling up that plaid paper until I can't cut anymore with it. Lovely. Okay, now I when you have bright colors, and especially plaid, I love plaid, and you put them behind a black background, I think you get amazing results. Your card just pops with that black behind it. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to cut out a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to arrange the circles that we had made, just straight, adhere them straight to my white cardstock there. And I just love that look. I think it looks really bold but bright. It's really neat. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment, but I need a strip of this black cardstock. And for this sentiment, again, I grabbed one from my stash, and it says, "You're the reason I smile." And I used white embossing powder, and I just heat set that. It was, my embossing powder was Snow White, I think it was Snow White from Nouveau. But I stuck my penguin on there with one of those little wobbles. Oh, and almost every animal in these 10 cards have the wobbly eyes. So if you see them later on, and I forgot to tell you, I put wobbly eyes on almost all of them, except for the giraffe. Okay, so that card's done. Now we're going to work on card number 6. Now I cut out a piece of, this is the lighter plaid paper, using my rectangle die, and now I'm taking that blue paper and I'm making a frame, but I'm keeping the back piece of it. And then I'm taking the purple plaid. I'm going to stick that behind those circles there. But we need to stamp our little our animal here. So again, I'm coloring a little penguin, coloring his little feetsies orange and his little nose, and we're going to cut him out. Good deal. Now again, I love this stamp set because they can hold stuff, so I want him holding a star, so I cut out his arms. Now when I took the plastic off of the stamp set, I thought I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I thought I'm going to try using this plastic to make a shaker card, but I want it to be super thin instead of it raised, so I just adhered that to the circle using my glue tape, and then I went around the top of it with my glue tape. And then I have these itty bitty silver stars, star sequins. They're real pretty, and I figured they would look really pretty behind here, so I am adding a few. And then I'm just going to take that other piece of plastic and just sandwich it. So now I have like a paper thin shaker card, and they don't move around as much as a shaker, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I think it looks kind of cute the way if they stay a little bit stationary. So I'm adding my plaid paper here, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Again, I'm using one from my stash, and this one says Shine. I heat embossed it with white embossing powder, and I think it needed a little bit more, so I faux stitched around the purple tag and also around the craft card base. Now I'm lifting up this little shaker that we made with some foam tape, adhering that down to my card using the inner side of the circle behind it. And now I'm popping up my penguin. I'm going to stick him right to the side. And then of course I'm going to add some little eyes. Now for my stash, I have these little stars, and they're adorable, and I thought it'd be perfect for this card because they're 3D. So he's holding one of those little itty bitty stars. And then just to finish it off, to give it a little bit more accent, I'm using some Nouveau Crystal drops. These are White Blizzard, and just accenting the corners with that. And that's it. Now for card number 7, which I think is probably my favorite card because it's so cute. I am coloring in my little giraffe. And then I'm going to cut him out. And then just to give him a little bit more accent, because the base of this card is white, I'm using my white gel pen and just giving him little freckles all over. Okay, now I'm going to cut out a piece of the blue pattern paper, a green pattern paper, and then some white cardstock. And then I also cut out a strip of the plaid paper, the rainbow colored plaid paper. And I'm going to add my sentiment, but I wanted to say, I want to use the wild thing, but I don't want the I think I love you. I think I needed it a little bit shorter. So I taped that off and just stamped the wild thing. And then I'm using my white embossing powder. We're going to heat set that. This is Glacier White. Sorry, I think I said Snow White earlier. But it didn't stand out enough for me. So at first I took my white gel pen and went over it. And then it still wasn't white enough, so I used one of my alcohol markers to color in the wild thing. Now I'm taking a stamp edged frame from my stash, and I'm cutting out the middle part of it because I want it to be on a border on top and on the bottom of this plaid paper. So I just cut out the inside of that and then adhered my sentiment. I corner rounded the white cardstock and the blue paper behind it. And then I have a leaf die that I just probably love. I use it a lot. And so I'm cutting out a piece of white cardstock with that leaf die. And I'm going to punch it out. And then I'm going to take that key lime ink, and I'm just lightly kind of going over the leaf. I wanted some different shading, so I kind of blotched it. Blotchied it. I don't know if you know what I mean by blotchy, but lightly kind of stamped it. Now I'm going to adhere that to our front panel here. And then I'm going to directly adhere that to the blue. Lovely. I'm gluing my plaid paper directly to that front panel, trimming off the excess. Good deal. And then I'm going to lift it up with some foam adhesive. This card turned out so soft, but it was so cute. I just loved it. Lovely. I put that in the center. Now we're going to add our little giraffe. Pop him up with adhesive as well. Love him. And then for his eyes, I wanted them just to stand out a little bit more, so I'm using some Nouveau Crystal drops, and these are Midnight Sky, which turned out really pretty. And then I'm going over the corners again with the White Blizzard. And that was it. Now for card number 8, I'm taking a piece of this plaid paper and I'm temporarily kind of adding it to the purple cardstock, or purple card base. And I'm cutting out a window using one of my frame dies because we're going to be making a shaker card. I'm grabbing some sequins from my stash, and I'm just kind of I'm going to make my own little melody. So I'm grabbing some blue sequins and then a little bit of green. I want the colors just kind of match the plaid. And then on the bottom here I have some clear ones. And then I added those to our shaker, put the plastic on the back. For this shaker card, I want to be able to see, if you open the window, I want to be able to actually see through it. So that's what I did there. I'm going to be cutting out and coloring in our little elephant. And on his leg, on his front leg, his front right leg, I cut around it because I want to add some twine. The sentiment I'm using is from my stash again, and it says, "I'd never forget you." So I thought it would be really cute to have a little twine wrapped around his little arm holding this tag. So just to make the tag stand out a little bit more, I grabbed a purple brad from my stash and I added it to our little sentiment. And then I'm taking some white twine and I'm threading our tag, and then I'm going to go around his leg, which you can't see. I'm sorry about that. Well, a little bit. I'm adding our shaker to our card base, and then I'm going to add our little elephant. I'm popping him up with foam adhesive and the sentiment as well, kind of arranging it. I trimmed off, I kind of regret it later, but I trimmed off the sentiment a little bit, and then I tied the top part of this twine in a bow, and then I added my white dots to his eyes just to make him pop, and then I faux stitched around the purple. Lovely. And that was card 8. Now for card number 9. This one turned out cute. You probably think I'm crazy doing this and probably don't know what I'm doing, but it actually turns out, in person, it turns out really neat. And I'm sorry about the geese again. They came back. Okay, I am tracing around the frame, and then I'm taking my white marker, or my black marker, and I'm just kind of drawing squiggly lines around that frame. I'm kind of emulating the giraffe pattern, kind of. And then these markers that I'm using have a wide end, and I wasn't careful about coloring in anywhere. I just used the wide end of the alcohol markers and just went around it sporadically, kind of making like a giraffe background. And there it is. I just like that it matched my giraffe. So now I'm going to stamp my giraffe, and I colored him in. And then this was sitting on my desk from an earlier card, and I thought it would be neat to use the negative space of it. So I'm just sticking that over that green pattern paper that came with the kit, kind of piecing it back together, and I think that looks really neat. So I'm going to pop this giraffe frame up with foam adhesive, and then I'm going to grab my card base. But you know, I'm going to add my sentiment first. Again, it's from my stash, and this one says "Hi there," which is kind of cute because, you know, giraffes are high up there. So, and I'm using the keyed lime ink that came in the kit, and I'm sticking that to the center of a card base. Then I'm popping the frame directly over it. I'm going to add some foam tape to our little giraffe that we colored in and stick him right over the tree. And that green that I used, I didn't like. So I changed my mind. So I used one of my circle dies, and I just cut out a corner. And I'm just going to take the Memento Tuxedo black ink and re-ink that stamp, and then stamp my sentiment with the black ink. And I really like this one way much better. So that was my fix for that one. And again, I added the Nuvo crystal drops. These are, again, the Midnight Sky, and made his little eyes pop. And that's card number 9. Now for our last card, we're going to use one of the white tags that came in the kit. And we're going to trim off the bottom a little bit. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. I stamped Wild Thing, I Think I Love You. And then I'm inking up the little lion, coloring him in. And then I also stamped 2 little hearts with the key lime and the watermelon. I'm going to, well, I decided I want him holding a heart, so I cut out his arms. Not cut out, cut around his arms. And then also his mane, but I didn't really need to do the mane. And then I'm taking some of this blue pattern paper and one of my heart dies. And I'm going to pop that little heart up with some foam tape and have him holding it. And I think he looks adorable. These little critters can be holding anything, which I love. From presents to balloons. I just love him. I'm taking some blue, or actually this is white polka dotted ribbon for my stash. And then I have a scallop border die. And I'm adding a purple scallop to the side of this tag. I'm going to pop up these little itty bitty hearts with some foam tape here and arrange them up there on the top. And then I'm going to use my alcohol markers and color in the Wild Thing. I use the orange for the wild, and then I use the green for the thing. And I think that tag turned out really cute. I did use my Wink of Stella shimmer pen, and I colored in all the hearts with that. Now I took a piece of the rainbow plaid paper, and I used my rectangle die, the size that would frame the card base, and then I cut it. Actually, I'm using a side folding card for this one, and I wanted the tag to be able to flip over, so I trimmed down the top part of the cardstock. I don't know if that made any sense. Now I add my tag, and that was it. That's card number 10, guys. Here's a quick look at all 10 cards. This Simon Says stamp April 2017 card kit. It was so fun. Love these little animals. Since there was just 2 sentiments in the kit, I always add my own. That way that I can give them away, and they're a little bit more versatile. But thanks for putting up with the geese in the background. I hope you got inspired and want to open your kit and have fun making your cards. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. Happy Tuesday. Bye-bye.